How are you today?
Oh my gosh. I'm good. I'm really good. I just
That's great.
I had that 10 a.m. thing in my head. Whatever.
it's, it's something about 10 o'clock.
Oh, lovey. I don't know. Anyway, so hey, all right.
Yeah.
It is
So
good.
let me share my screen. I hope it's already up. Oh, I gotta choose.
You're getting all fancy with this like double screen thing.
I wanted to look at the growth plans and I want to review what you have done
Hmm.
and to see which parts probably worked better for you or really important to be part of your growth plan. You had a previous one that you made.
I had just made it
Oh, you had just made it.
just
That's good.
before you asked me to do it. Yeah, which is pretty funny.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
your atomic habits, what's going to really become part of you, ingrained in you, so that you can actually be able to stay in alignment with your goals. And I know you had quite a bit of atomic habits. Swimming was one, meditation. And what else did you feel that you found that you had to do pretty much on the daily for you to really thrive and be in alignment
It prioritizing sleep, like, going to bed, getting enough
at a
sleep,
certain
and
time?
and yes, and drinking enough water, and that kind of thing. I think it was
Oh, okay.
those were the things. And
And then
yeah.
you already have your schedule on Excel, pretty much mapped out, which is good. A schedule is very important. Some people don't realize how important it is, and it's good to look back in your week and to see, look at the patterns that you might have or the negatives. Always look back and see what it is that you need to change, what it is you need to do less of or more of. This was the previous one I made before I added certain things, but you would want to look at like every week, what do I want to accomplish for this week, what milestone, and you check it off. What's the big thing you want to accomplish for the other week? And that helps a lot. Weekly results, you're always going to be readjusting. Things change and you change. What's very important is decluttering. And as you plan and as you go, you're going to realize the things you need to keep and what you don't need to keep, whether they're habits or their beliefs. I also would include self-limiting beliefs in this as well. So we just, in this part, we focus on the things that you needed to, the unnecessary things that are in your life that you don't need. Tell me how important is decluttering of your life, or even freeing up your life, is to you? How important is that for
Extremely,
you?
extremely, because I'm just a gobbler of life. Like, I gobble everything. I want everything all the time, and
Uh-huh.
something. And it's that's I'm realizing from this work with you that that's the way I see things. That's my default setting, my natural default setting,
Mm-hmm.
to see everything all at once and
Um,
feel like everything is now, and everything is everything, and all of it, and that kind of thing. And decluttering helps me because I've done a ton of decluttering because of what we've been doing.
good.
And that's at work, and I'm not just talking physical, obviously. I've got a few programs,
Great.
just been able to let go of things,
Yes.
let go of thoughts, able to let go of, those beliefs, and able to let go of some habits that um get in my way. There's plenty more, and there's plenty more. But I mean, like, even at home, I think it's interesting. My husband is he's not a hoarder, but he's a collector of things, and he doesn't like to let go of things in case. And it's also
Mhm.
an island thing. I mean, you do never know, when you might need
Oh,
something. But
he's a hoarder. Okay, yeah.
but he's not really a hoarder. Like, he doesn't pile stuff up. I just don't want you thinking like it's like,
Okay, because
but
I know how that can be.
it's not like, yes, no. But it, and I'm not that way, but I will, when he sees that, he's been seeing how I respond to just totally like letting go of,
Mhm.
clothes that don't fit me that are, I'm not, if I ever lose that weight, I will deserve to have those new clothes anyway. I will not want to wear clothes from 10 years ago or something.
Okay, right,
So
right.
so out I go with all of this stuff, and he's seeing how I'm kind of freed up from letting go of things and seeing things as kind of like those thoughts and those habits as not being me, but just things attached to me that I've allowed to attach to me and drag me down. So he started to allow things to go. Like he let me have a barbecue grill hauled away that was rusted out inside. I thought for sure he wasn't going to allow it. He did. So I guess, yeah. So I'm just,
Yeah.
the effects go beyond me also too.
Yeah, it as you
Yeah.
transform, as you evolve, it the people around you it affects. Yeah, it does. So you see how freeing it is, how it's because I have to do that all the time. I have to realize, wait, do I have to do all of this? Do I have to carry all of this?
Yeah.
I travel with a backpack now. You couldn't get me to do that 5 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
How do I fit my essentials in a backpack? I do it.
That's impressive.
So, I mean, yeah, the days of a big old suitcase and I don't even use half of what's inside. I don't travel like that anymore. So
Yeah.
it's a necessary process. It gives us space, mental space to let in the things that we need,
Yeah.
that are being left out or being blocked out.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
By the way, Sharon, you look fabulous today. Look at
Oh,
you.
thank you. We have to like really get rid of the things that are really in our way, the way of our mission, the way of our vision. And I have learned to do that over the years. And it affects people in many ways. Sometimes people look at you strange because they don't get it, but you know, but as long as you get it, that's important. So
Right.
let's look at milestone 4, creating a support system. And we don't have to spend much time on the support system. They can be books you read, it can be, doesn't always have to be people, but it's good to have people surrounding you. It can be anything that's gonna support you on your way to accomplishing your goal, on your way into staying in alignment.
Yeah.
That's one thing
Yeah.
I am working on right now, my alignment and all the things I need to do so I can be, really peaceful and joyful each day and not be, stressed out unnecessarily. So that was garnering support, and we're going to go on to heal, which really is the last section. The healing part is very, important to me because that's the purpose of everything, to be renewed, to
Mhm.
remember who we are. That's part of the healing process. And yes, this is moving now. And of course, I put body, mind, and soul. It's not just when people think of healing, a lot of times they think of physical healing, but
Mhm.
it's deeper than that. Every part of your life, including healing, is up to you
Yeah.
and how serious you are about it. And we went through some definitions of what healing can be: make well again, free from injury, make sound and whole, to restore to original purity. We were born into this world pure, and we came from that peace, and it's to get back to that point again, because life, like I told you, is, oh my God, we are shaped by our environment, our upbringing, and it's only until we get to like the last stage, I think that's our 20s, when we really start to battle with, well, who are we really. So
Right.
for healing though, I gave some examples of how you can focus on your healing. When you think of mindfulness, what comes to mind? What do you
Well, the
think?
meditation is a part of it, but it's really about in the flow of your day, staying in the moment. My
Say
feet are right
exactly.
here on the ground. I'm doing this.
Exactly. And
That's
that's what helped me a whole lot, because I was a worrywart. I was worrying about things I didn't even hear yet. And when I started to read books on presence
yeah.
and mindfulness, it was like and I got it. It's like, okay, enjoy the moment. Look around. It's my
Right.
surroundings. You know, we are the ones who create our pain sometimes when we're worrying about this, what happened there and there. Just enjoy the moment because
It's true.
that's the only real time there is. So I had to get that in my head. I read a lot of Eckhart Tolle books. I could relate to him a lot. I
Yeah.
think it's Eckhart Tolle or Tolle, one of them. I probably
Yeah,
pronounce
I don't
it.
know. I've heard his name pronounced a zillion ways. Like to hear him say it. I know. I read him. I first
Yeah.
read his books quite a while ago, like probably 12 years ago, maybe
Hmm.
11 years ago. I read one of his books.
My son stole it from me and he read it too. So my son he's way beyond me at his age.
Yeah.
And it was a very interesting thing because he spoke a lot about being here in the moment and how because this is the only time that it exists, being in the presence in the moment.
Mhm.
He said the closer you are to God. I
Yeah.
included that as part of healing. So
Yeah, it is. It's a big part of it because it makes it possible. That mindfulness thing makes it
mhm,
possible for you to do all the other stuff
yes,
that's
it
there,
does.
because it puts you right in the flow of what is good for you. You know what I
It
mean?
and it
Yeah,
right and it quiets the noise.
right. All those things.
All the negative self-talk that might be usually going on, it quiets that and it's forced to be quiet. So I
Yeah,
find that very helpful.
I'm turning.
And I
I
think
just.
I got
I'm
it
turning
now.
off the ringer.
And one thing I find too is it helps so much with your relationship to others. The more grounded you are, you're more pleasant to be
Mhm.
around, the more you reach out to others. I find that was my case. Now, we looked at the self-healing, this little diagram I have, and I wanted to put this here because I wanted to look at ways you've been healed or I've been healed in the past,
Mhm,
and
mhm.
because sometimes we don't realize the work that we did put in before. Things are not as sometimes we're not as bad off as we think we are.
Right.
And I put in well overcome depression. I listen. I don't know what depression is today, but and I had serious depression and anxiety, and I don't know what that is today. And it took a while. It took a while. It took from my 40s after my divorce. It's so funny. That's when I became very clear-minded. I was able to explore more and be me.
Yeah.
So, can you share with me some of what you um some of the things that you recorded that that you um became responsible for as far as your healing?
Here it comes, hun. I'm gonna share a screen.
How did you overcome that anxiety and overdoing? That was it through the session that you
Yeah,
managed
through these sessions. And well,
okay.
it was, what really helped was by um all the things, the mindfulness, the meditation, the spreadsheets,
Your
so
atomic
I could
your
know
atomic
that.
habits. Those are your
Yes,
atomic habits that became a system. Yes.
yes, did. And
Hmm.
because those three things were really important because I knew that I could know that it was going to happen eventually, because I had it on a spreadsheet. I had
Good.
it down. And it's different somehow than making a list when you do that spreadsheet and you can see it in space and time, like you've allotted.
Yeah.
And there's something about that. So that really has helped a lot. And and the decluttering really helped because it helped me to take away the excess that really people aren't going to be like losing it over me cutting this class and that class in summer camp. People are not losing it over that. So, and I just think it's again through the mindfulness and the meditation as well that I I could better sense myself as opposed to my projecting what other people might feel and think.
Exactly.
And so that was great. So that
Hmm.
yeah, I realized this thing about meditating in the mornings. It didn't really come out at as what I've healed, but like I used to just resist that unless I was meditating before working with someone. I
Hmm.
would meditate for them really,
Okay.
so now I meditate for me and I really enjoy it with
Okay.
with the cat in the morning. Yeah. Um, yeah.
That's great. And I see you have here that I accept I don't always have to finish everything every day I plan to. And yeah, okay. Yeah. Yes, you can push away some of that, finishing everything. That was the issue with me. And I had to learn that and be okay with it
Yeah.
instead of beating myself up. Oh my God. Yes,
Yeah.
I'm glad you were able to get that done.
Yeah.
And once you have those must have habits, I call it atomic habits, and you do them as your day go, your weeks go, you're gonna find time. Because you're gonna be at peace. You're not gonna be as anxious. You're gonna find time
Yeah.
to get what you want done.
Yeah. Yeah.
And overeating, you said you have
I
done
I
well in
don't do
that.
it constantly anymore, and I'm choosing better food. I didn't write this down because it's sort of outdated, but it's not that I don't overeat at all anymore. But I am, for example, Wednesday is my um, Overeaters Anonymous Day. So I'm going to that. But I've also, now I'm starting to put in things like listening to the podcasts and stuff like that around it. And my Al Anon is starting up again on Monday.
Okay.
So
Okay.
all of this is now getting added back in because I need to attend to that. When my husband was away, but when I went away and I came back and my husband was away for a week that I was home, I got back
Hmm.
to the house and it was quiet. Now, usually I'm the one that goes away,
Okay.
or if he goes away, I'm home and I'm in the flow of something as opposed to coming home to a quiet house. And the last 2 days before he came back, I can't believe how much I miss that guy. And how many cookies I ate as a result of that. I mean, I am embarrassed to tell you how many. So
I've done that too. Don't worry.
I'm telling you, it was outrageous. And but I know, okay, I've got time right now. I'm making that a priority.
Okay, that's great.
Because
That's
the
great.
other things are tootling. The other things are tootling along.
Taking charge of your life. I
Yes. And
is
I,
a is a must.
yeah.
Because if you don't, that's going to be a hindrance.
Yes. Yeah.
Pretty much, yes. It's really, I didn't realize how important it is. It's more important than I thought, and
Mm-hmm.
it's a way of, it could be self-monitoring. You can go back and always revisit it, readjust and
Yeah.
see what you are. And the main thing is basically to improve performance. It also can be used for personal growth. And of course we have in the internal internally your strengths and your weakness. And by now you know what they are.
Mm-hmm.
You have an
Yeah.
idea what your strengths are. I would say my weaknesses would be tend to sometimes I get attacked with the imposter syndrome. I forget who I am, and I have to remind myself,
Right. Yeah.
"Girl, this is you. You are, I mean, you're a queen. You are precious. You are boss." And my
Mm-hmm.
strengths would be just the love of sharing and caring, with people. That
Yeah.
I can do that all day, and the opportunities that you have, and when you look at opportunities, the opportunities you have to really fulfill the vision, to have to live the life you want, whatever it is your goal is at that point. And my opportunities now would be basically, what opportunities do I have to share what I do? What opportunities do I have to work with people? I'll then share my framework and
Right.
my business and what I do. And I took advantage with the senator. I had a great opportunity, but I missed out on it. I was going to do a program in St. Croix with youths. There was a police officer there who it had a camp for kids, and she was asking me to come in or even do things online, and I missed out on that because I was with a friend who
Uh-huh.
had cancer, and I couldn't focus on both. So
Oh, I'm sorry.
yeah,
I know you were excited about that.
but and she's in St. Croix, so maybe it wasn't supposed to happen. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe it wasn't. So then for our tool, it basically tells you give you a little bit of how important it is and how to use it. Look at identify your strengths and weaknesses. That's the internal. External review results. So you can. The purpose of it is to capitalize on your strengths. Like
Mhm,
keep
mhm.
going. Don't exploit whatever opportunities you have there to to use whatever your strengths are. Minimize your weaknesses and to minimize threats. So
Right.
what do you think about the SWOT tool? Where would you be as far as um, your strengths and weaknesses?
Here we go. Now, I I think why I couldn't scroll down is because I was on my screen seeing the whole page. So can you see
Oh,
this whole page on yours?
you could if you can make it a little bigger, go like
Yeah,
magnify
yeah,
it a
for
little
sure.
bigger. Yeah. Okay, that's better.
Is
Yeah.
that better?
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
so this is what you had. I, mm-hmm. Honest with people. You like bringing people together for a common ground. Okay. Musically, of course.
Mhm.
Doing good with voice. You do voice coaching too. You can be a great voice coach as
Yeah,
well.
I did. That was my major thing. That's the thing I have my degrees in.
Hmm.
Vocal pedagogy. Yeah.
And that's great, and you get to work. Okay, and your passion. Okay, now let's look at the other internal negative things. Like
Mhm.
these are the, yeah. What is it that you can do better? You can self-modulate, self-care better, prioritize. Okay, time financial planning. Okay, this is where you can create a little milestone for a week. This week, stick it somewhere in your calendar, whichever day. This week I want to work on this, and you can create milestones to get to these, to really turn some of these negatives into positive.
Mhm.
Okay, you said I need to face up to my need to please.
Yeah.
Right. Yep.
Yeah, like I've been noticing that you know, but for me before, it felt like I had to respond actively. If someone, for example, was saying things that were unkind or negative or
Right.
ignorant or racist or whatever,
Hmm.
homophobic, if someone was doing that, I always felt the need like either I was going to have to leave the situation or say something, you know,
Okay.
and it was one or the other. I couldn't
Hmm.
just sit in my own self and just be silent. And like I'm talking about with my friend Bev, who's 92, right? So I just sit in silence now. And she knows because of that lack of back and forth, she's left with herself and it makes her uncomfortable. And she stops what she's doing. And meanwhile, I haven't gone over into her arena and I'm going to fix you. I'm going to fix your head. I'm going to take control over your everything. It's just, and then she makes an about face. She doesn't say, oh, that was blah, 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 but she realizes and she doesn't keep going. And
Okay.
so I feel like, wow, that's a big thing for me to be silent, you know?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. It is. And setting boundaries too. That's even a boundary for yourself, because I noticed you mentioned um, boundaries. Some people have better boundaries than you do.
like a lot of people. So,
Yeah.
so
But
boundaries about keeping me in rather than keeping others out. It's really about keeping me in for me.
oh, okay. Well, boundaries are there to protect us. When you think of
Yeah.
boundary, think of protection.
Yeah.
Protection, your mindset, protection. And I have set a lot of boundaries.
Yeah.
Because I've had to, with my children's side of the family. I was anything they asked me, yep, I help y'all do this. And I'm not even
Right.
married to your son anymore. You asking me to do these things,
Yeah. Right. Because you
But
go out and to let me help, let me be there for.
yeah. And it isn't as though I always set boundaries. Sometimes I have to remember, wait, I need to set a boundary right here. One of them is that I'm not cooking.
Yeah.
Visiting you, but I'm not cooking. I'm getting the food I need to eat. So my niece didn't like that. She said, "You're not cooking anymore, Auntie." No, you're 19. You can cook.
Cook something for me when I visit you.
If I
Yeah.
feel like cooking,
Yeah.
I'll cook. But because I'm on a juicing diet now, I have these things where I do my kale and my blueberries, and I freeze them, and I don't want to see food because that
Yeah.
might trigger me wanting to eat.
Yeah.
But guess what? I'm seeing pizza. I saw pizza out last night. So what do you think I did?
I know. I did the
I went
same
straight.
thing,
I took a
Lori.
slice. I said, okay,
I hadn't had pizza in months. Months.
exactly. I'm like, and pepperoni too. I took one slice and I said, that's it.
Oh,
Okay, so let me see what else you have here. Okay, to please, okay. You can be overly optimistic about what is possible to achieve in your current environment. Okay. I also resist technology. Okay. Yeah, you need to become a friend with technology. And you're medicating on food. I know a lot of people who do that, you know. So it was hard for me myself to start on my juicing.
yeah. Food's
So
very primary. I think it's our first addiction is the addiction to the breast. No, seriously, like that first. This is where my comfort comes from. Oh, put it here.
mhm,
You
mhm.
know, I
Yeah.
think that is the first moment where we realize,
And what do you mean overly optimistic about what is possible to achieve in your current environment?
you're
How
ready.
is that a
Well,
weakness?
let's just say making the budget for the coming year. Last
Oh,
year, last year's budget was outrageous, and we are dipping into equity because I had so much faith in my assistant's ability to write grants and whatever, and I realized that I really just without without actually surveying like any results that she's gotten in the past,
mhm.
like I knew she'd taken a class, I knew she's got a degree, but she's still young, you know what I mean? She doesn't have a lot of life experience. And so it was I learned because the grants I wrote all came in and the grants she wrote didn't. And it isn't her writing is terrific, but it's really about writing grants is a skill like that
I'm sure it is.
and
I
it's
was
changing all the time now. You know what I mean? Like
okay.
the world is different. So I, in other words, basically counted on way more equity coming in.
Okay.
So,
Um,
anyway, that kind of thing.
yeah. Okay. I got.
Or just expecting that other people, oh, they said they do this, so they're gonna do this.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yay! And no, it's not like that. So it's like you've got to remain. I've got I I've got to get a little bit better at saying, okay, terrific. And if that comes through, it's going to be great. And if it doesn't,
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to be ready for if it doesn't. So this year's budget is different from last year.
Okay.
Up, and I felt really good about it.
Okay.
So
Okay, and for your external youth, you have here about losing your job.
yeah,
That's a threat. That would threat things that you think about. So in this case, it's like, wow. But you're the
yeah.
owner of a nonprofit now.
Mhm.
Wow. Wow.
But I'm not an owner. I'm not
I
no.
mean, you're the CEO of the.
Yeah,
How did it come about?
because I started because I started these programs. So I started it, but then once you have a board and you're a nonprofit,
Oh,
the board is in charge of you.
that's right. That's right. I'm thinking. Yeah, I'm thinking like a business. Okay,
But
I get you.
also things could dry up. Like I didn't really finish this thought on St. John. There's no competition at this time for choir singing organizations. But if someone came along and had a lot of money and
Hmm.
was able to just get in there and just boom, I'm going to throw all my money behind this, or School of the Arts decided they were going to do choirs. If that happened, which it wouldn't happen with the person in charge right now, but if that happened, it would be a threat. So it isn't currently a threat, but I'm aware that it
Okay.
could be a threat.
Okay.
So if someone came along, it could.
Oh, okay. Okay. Your optimism might expose you. It's about the organization again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Deadlines to meet. Okay. There are things that can and can cause anxiety because you're focused on those deadlines. I've been there as a
yeah,
teacher. I
yeah,
did. And then, of course, you want to look at the opportunities and this would be a positive. What opportunities do you have to scale my life back enough to find a rhythm in my days? Okay. To not feel pressured, I can turn integrity and wisdom into good choices for me. Okay, I can organize myself for myself. I can yoga class. Okay, I can get up later. Okay, but okay, I see opportunities are more you're doing a lot of still doing a lot of internal food opportunities, but they're basically outside things outside of yourself.
Oh,
That you can, yeah. The internal you can more control because it's you. That's you have the power to be empowered to do that. Yeah, opportunities sometimes might be there, and you can use you can use
uh,
them.
so
Yeah.
the opportunity here would be that from the months of May through
Uh-huh.
September, I have my work schedule shifts. So that's an opportunity.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yes. Yes. Yes.
And the
Okay.
opportunity, and then these things
Yes.
are
Yes.
now possible. But yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. It's more
Like I,
what is out there that you can use. What you can use just with your strengths. What can you use out there? Like there, because one of my coaches said, "Well, yeah, there's opportunity for you to be teaching some of the children online." Yeah, but I don't want to teach children. I've done that for
I
30 years. So it's like, I know, but no. Now, if you told me, well, if I was in a church and there's a group of women and I have opportunity to really probably do a workshop or, do a discovery call, something like that, things like
yes,
that.
yes.
Yeah.
So for
And the
me,
aim,
opportunities. Oh
yeah, and the
yes,
aim of this is to see where you're at and to see how you can improve your life. See if you can improve your life or even accomplish your goals even faster. So
yeah.
this
So
is
that
that's
would be where I would say
mhm.
opportunities would be like Overeaters Anonymous, Al-Anon,
Yes,
yoga
you can do that.
classes, um,
Hmm.
a hiking, you know,
Yeah, yeah,
hiking uh, dates with people are they've been asking me for ages, that kind of
yeah.
thing. And things like that, or financial advising kind of things. And
Yes, yes. This wheel of life is pretty much the same as
mhm,
the survey you did, the questionnaire that you did with life balance, so you can zero in
right.
on what you needed. When I say design your life, is be in charge and look at, okay, for the next 6 months, how do I want my life to look? You know what I'm saying? Saying like for the next 3 months, whatever is more beneficial to you, how do I want my life to look? 8 ways to stay in alignment, just things you can think about. Setting clear in goals and intentions for yourself. Number one, really know what you need and what you want. Um, Mindfulness practice every day, daily meditation, mindfulness, like we spoke about, is so important. Staying in alignment, like being true to your um, values and priorities. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Really evaluating your choices and see if they're align with your beliefs. So these are some things extras I figure you can look at as far as staying in alignment.
Hmm.
And I put here 6 steps to take charge and design your life. This is like another it's like a readjustment plan. Okay, make sure you're clear on what you want, whether it's next week, next month, next 3 months, and based on what you want. Let's say, I don't know, you might want to um what is something you might want to do other than what you're doing now? Anything like a project or something like that? Is there anything you can think of?
Financial planning.
Look and see what strengths you might have there and what weaknesses you might have there. Develop a plan about financial planning. As you really follow this along with your atomic habits and you try to keep yourself in alignment, the more you will be healed. The last thing I want to look at basically simply sharing your transformation.
Hmm.
And do you see the importance in sharing your experiences and transformations?
I do. At first, I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. And then I
Yeah.
was just like, at first, I was like, oh, you know, but I realized, because I don't want to do a lot of things publicly,
Right.
that way. And I'm not a big social media person or anything.
Yeah.
However, I definitely will go on to your Facebook group, and that I know I'm connected to. I just have to find it again. And
Or you can go in the chat. You can go. I have a chat
the chat.
on my Wake Up to Freedom page. You can even put something in the chat. That's fine. It's called Breaking the Chain. Breaking the Chains, Free Yourself chat. You can do that on the page. I find sharing as healing, as I coach, as I try to guide people to transform. It's keeping me in alignment because number one, if I'm teaching you it, I have to do it. You know,
Right.
so sharing it keeps me grounded. It does.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so
And it helps you learn. I mean, that the whole 12-step model is based on that. You know, that
okay.
service, sharing
Mhm.
and service is an essential component of
Okay.
things, you know.
Okay,
Yeah. for
great, great.
learning.
Yeah, it's very important too, because we all need each other. Your last challenge was to look at the activities that I had above for sharing, and look at three that you can think about,
Yeah.
and how you plan to execute them. And that's the end of the lesson, the
Yeah.
end of the course.
That's
And
excellent.
you have seen your transformation, and you continue transforming. So continue, readjust, and do what you need to do. And yeah, but I'm glad you've gotten to this point. You see what is helpful for you,
Yeah.
what has helped you, so and how you can help others. So
Yeah. Thank you
yeah,
so
you
much, Sharon.
well.
These tools are really terrific. Really terrific. And I really feel a big shift has happened, and I'm
Mhm.
still in it. You know, I mean, obviously we're still in it as long as we're alive, but I mean, like,
Yeah,
I feel
yeah.
like
Growth is a
even with
process,
regard,
always.
yeah, you know, I, I feel really I'm just so grateful. Just so grateful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm grateful too to be able to do this.
Well, you do
That's
a
great.
great job. You do a really great
Thank
job.
you so much. Now, I'm gonna ask you. I always ask this. If you would like, you can write a little testimonial. You can text it to me, and a nice picture of you, because I have to add testimonials to my website. They're going on my website.
Uh,
Yeah. So if is that gonna be, is it okay for you to do that?
yes, of course. How long do
Okay,
you want
great,
it to be?
great. It could be about 4 sentences. If it's a
Okay.
paragraph, that's fine.
Perfect. Thank you for making that so easy for me.